the next step in activity 2, we're going to complete slide 5 and 6. Now 5 is actually already done in your design review. We're really going to take the information on 5 and review the product on 6. So you want to use annotated images. I'm going to show that in just a moment. And provide evidence. And your annotation needs to very clearly link your image to the claim that you're going to make about each criteria. And so you can turn a chart green and put an X in it if it does meet the criteria. So let's take a look and see. Here are the items on number 5. And I've already taken the opportunity to put those into a table or a chart for you on slide number 6 of your design review. Okay, so now you're just going to need to go through each one of these, and if it does meet it, you're going to want to point to evidence for it and then write something about it. So, is it usable in a tiny house? Well, this is approximately 6 feet long, and so yes, it does fit in a tiny house because tiny houses are 6 to 8 feet wide. So I'm going to say yes and turn that one green. So I click on the box and I go to my paint bucket and I turn it green. So that one does. Does it meet the functional space requirements? So does it meet the use as a bed? So this to me looks like, and I'm going to put an annotation in here now, that I'm going to present my presentation of transformable sleeping area. Okay, so it is meeting the sleeping area requirement. So I can take this and put it right there and change that one to green. So I met that requirement. Does it meet building codes? Ooh, I don't have any evidence right now that that would meet a building code. It might or it might not. So I'm going to have to leave that one as question marks. It's something that I would have to go look up later on. Does it minimize my impact on utilities? Well, this right here says it looks like a garage door opener, but it can be manually operated to be environmentally friendly. So that would because it can be manual, it can decrease the use of electricity. So I'm going to call that one yes. And so as you do this design review, this is what you're doing. You're going through each one and answering it to yourself and then writing something about it so that we can know. Now, is it compact? Does it take up a very small amount of space? Well, not really. All by itself, a bed is a bed and it takes up the space of a bed. So I'm going to say, no, it's not compact. But is it transformable? Yes. I can change the way it's arranged, the way it sits, the way it is using the space so that I can use that space for something else later on. So here's where I say that. Second use below saves space and materials. So that's transformable. I'm going to say yes. And look, it's okay. You put down what you think. You just have to be able to speak to it when it's time to do so. Is it innovative? Well, that sort of depends on what your idea of innovation is. It's certainly not using any new technology, but I haven't seen too many things like this. Now, I will say that if you go to Thomas Jefferson's residence, he's got bedrooms that are like this, where the bed goes up to the ceiling and stuff. So is it innovative? Maybe, maybe not. I'll let you decide on that one. I'm going to say yes, because nowadays you don't see too many beds that are set up in this fashion. So I'm going to say yes. And is it multi-use? I'm going to say yes, because this space is used for a second thing somewhere else. So I'm going to say yes on that. So this one is meeting a lot of the design requirements. Now, it's very valid to do a design review where everything is no. It's very important actually to find those things out, because that means that you're not going to use that in your in your design or in your tiny house. So if you come up on one and everything is no, that's perfectly fine. Now, is it DIY? Could you do this yourself? Again, that's up to some interpretation, but I've done a little woodworking and I can screw some wood onto some boards, and I know that I can attach C channel to walls. This is electrical conduit mounting channel. I know you can put a cotter pin in there, and I've done some work with wires, and I've actually not installed a garage door myself, but had to work with a garage door that was broken and re-put some of the stuff on here. So I'm going to say, I bet you somebody could be taught how to do that one themselves. Nothing really fancy about it. I think that one could be DIY. Durable, I'm not positive, but if I look at a big wood bed frame like that and steel hooked into the wall, and if you design it well, I bet you that could go up and down a couple of thousand times. And so that would be 3 or 4 or 5 years before you have a problem. You might have to learn about whether this needs to be lubricated or greased or something like that. But it looks pretty durable. I don't think there's too many things that could go wrong with this one. Easy to use. If I've got to crank these all up and get some sort of mechanism from there down to here so that I can actually crank it, or put this in a place where, I have to be able to reach that, that might not be that easy to use. Now, I've seen things like that, basically like a car jack that has an extension and a little hand wheel and something like that. I'm gonna say that it's not gonna be as easy as just having something there. So I'm gonna put no on the easy to use, unless I can come up with a really cool design that would really help that work. And maybe electrical would then be easy to use, but then I wouldn't be able to do minimizing my utility impact. So it could be that you want to put no there and put easy to use here. And is it environmentally friendly? Well, it's just common lumber plywood bed frame. You can get recycled material, you can get regrowth material, you can get all sorts of stuff. You can go to secondhand material stores and get that. So I'm going to say yes, that this is indeed environmentally friendly. The mattress depends on what you do with that as to whether it is or not. But I could easily see that you could get an environmentally friendly mattress or pad or sleeping cushion. So there we go. That is use annotated images to show how the design does or does not meet each criteria. Now, I could, if I wanted to, put multiple images on here, but in my case, I was able to do it with just one image. But this is good evidence of a design review, that it has been reviewed with respect to the design review criteria. Okay, so there we go. That is your item 2, activity 2.2. Complete slide 5 and 6. 5, there's really nothing to do, right? It's just right there. it's made. But slide 6 now becomes a real thing.